A short while ago, while me and my team were working on this debate, our co-workers were found snacking on chips and popcorn and were enjoying the 2-minute instant noodles. Now, we are not aiming to shame anyone at this point. We work in a newsroom in an environment where taking breaks for meals is at a premium. Ask any of our loved ones who are extremely upset with our dieting habits. However, the big story which we realized while part of our conversation on these meals is that these salty, sugary, crispy packaged food, which is so convenient and so easy to have invaded most Indian kitchens and dining tables. In fact, data from a new government survey highlights that urban Indians are spending a lot of their money to make convenient but risky dietary choices. Needless to say, the amount of junk that Indians are consuming is higher than ever, and that has resulted in a surge in non-communicable illnesses and non-metabolic illnesses. It was only in this regard that India's food safety regulator a few days ago approved a proposal to put a spotlight on key information on sugar, salt and fats on packaged food. You might have remembered that we covered that on Mirror Now. Now, these packaged food items promise a lot of convenience and even some flavor. But can we forget that this can also be gut-wrenching quite literally? According to the government's household consumption expenditure survey, the top 5% urban households spend as much as 538 rupees on processed food items. Our data shows that the worst offender states are Assam, Punjab, and the southern states in terms of spending their money on packaged food. And by the way, do you want to know what India's favorite snack is? It's biscuits, chai and biscuits. Of course, that's urban India's most popular choice. Now, while the concern about the adverse health impact of processed and ultra-processed foods continue to grow, the question is, can India successfully junk the junk? It's a very important debate, which I'm happy to have my guests with me at this point. We have Rinda Bhatt, celebrating holistic wellness coach, and also Dr. Manjari Chandra, consultant and nutritional medicine at this point. Thank you so much for joining me at this point on the urban debate. Rinda Bhatt, I'll come to you first. What exactly is fueling this epidemic of packaged food being consumed here? Why? I mean, is it, I don't want to call it laziness on part of preparing their own food, because we know the work pressures that are on Gen Zs and millennials these days, especially in corporate India. And nobody has the time to, especially if they're staying alone, to cook every meal by yourself and make it healthy. So obviously it's easy to snack, get a 2-minute instant noodles or get some chips and munch on them while you're working. But is there more to it which leads us to be addicted to processed food, Vrindavat?
Yes, of course, Ritangshu. Firstly, thank you for having me here. And I think the start of the problem is that we are not life centric. We do not somewhere realize that this is
Okay.
important. Our food is important for not just our physical health, but for also our emotional well being. And these two
Yeah.
parameters are, they have to be in place so that you can do whatever you need to do in life. So becoming aware that what this food is doing to us and then making conscious decisions is absolutely vital. And I feel
Yeah.
somewhere it starts with awareness. So we make very sensible, conscious decisions of what we want to put inside our systems.
Hmm. Okay. So it has to be a choice, which is what you're saying. Dr. Manjari Chandra, let's make this choice a bit more informed for our viewers here. What are the dangers, very simply put, of having processed food? Because I can get the temptation in having it. They are easy to procure, they are tasty, and sometimes they just serve the purpose of giving a dopamine kick to the people. What are the dangers of having this?
Yeah, thank you, Ritangshu. So, a couple of things here. First, I'd like to just add something on what you initially asked, Rinda, which is, are these food addictive? So,
Yeah.
the answer to that is they are not only addictive, they are designed to be addictive. There's a whole lot of science behind the taste, texture, and flavor palette of this food that has been scientifically made in a way that it gives you the maximum amount of pleasure, and there is so much of recall to that food that you constantly want to keep going back to that similar type of food. So this sort of food engineering is not a default thing. It's not happened by default that these snacks are so addictive. There's a whole system of food technologists and scientists who are working to make it so addictive. And
Okay.
sadly, the younger a person is exposed to food like this, the more the addiction becomes more blunt. And therefore, it is very difficult to wean off anybody with these snacks, these sort of quick fix foods or junk foods, as you say. As far as the health issues are concerned, I mean, every disease can be connected to it. Every chronic condition that we know of, from autoimmune disorders to diabetes to obesity to cardiometabolic diseases, from a fatty liver to on all forms of malignancy and tumors and cancer, everything can be linked back to these foods. So therefore, one of the things that we are not doing enough is, in fact, the report that you're talking about and we are discussing today talks about how the government can do much more in this, because you see, as children don't even know how bad opening one packet of chips and eating it is, because nobody is giving them that information.
Yeah.
All they know
Yeah.
is that if they eat a packet of chips, they'll get a fun toy to play with and something interesting to eat. If they and children are intelligent, if you're able to tell them
Yes.
the risks and rewards, I mean, a cigarette packet contains such a scary warning. I mean, there should be some sort of information which should be more streamlined, targeted to our consumers, because I'm sorry to say, we see this in our clinical settings. A lot of people don't understand the impact of consuming this on a regular basis. They think there's a little bit of a problem. I'll gain weight. Maybe my BP will be high. They don't understand that the long-term impacts are so scary and so profound, you know.
Indeed, indeed, absolutely. We lost your visual for a while, Dr. Manjari Chandra, but thank you so much. And we have been listening to your audio and that's some very important points you have been making, Vrinda. But what is the solution? Now, I don't want to end this debate on some sort of a sermon to our viewers here, and some, again, coming back to the point of diet shaming or lifestyle shaming. Oh, you're not doing enough exercise. Oh, you're only having junk food instead of focusing. The reality is that in today's lifestyle, given the fact that we are under so much pressure in the corporate world, as young adults, as parents of children, that sometimes these are basic inevitable shortcuts that we end up taking. Can you prescribe to our viewers an option in which it is possible to balance out healthy eating, reducing the dependence on these processed foods, while at the same time going about with life as usual and perhaps even getting a bit more physically active?
Yeah, this is very critical because, yes, like you said, sermonizing is not what we're looking for. You want practical solutions as well. So,
Yeah.
first thing is set it as a priority. You need to prioritize your food in your life because your life depends on it. It's pran, it's nutritious energy. So, this education has to be actually taken on by a person for themselves. And the government and the schools and the organizations are secondary, but your life has to start being your responsibility. For that, yes, diet, but at least admit it to yourself, I need to eat clean, relatively cleaner. So maybe out of 3 meals,
Yeah.
one you're having at work that can be whatever is available at that point of time, but your breakfast and your dinner can be healthier choices. And there are a lot of spaces available which are even supplying freshly cooked food, and it is economical as well. So when you try to find a way, when you decide you're going to make a positive change, then you'll find ways and means to do it as well. So step one, according to me, Ritangshu, is take responsibility for your life. We can't just keep passing the buck to
Okay.
just some second party. This is my life, because there's so many addictive things anyways out there.
Yeah.
But we take responsible choices. Whether it's cigarettes, whether it's alcohol, we take responsible choices. So when there is awareness, what these foods are doing to us, then you have to take responsible choices. And
Okay.
when there is a will, there is a way. You will find a way. So out of 3 meals, at least you can clean up 2 meals. And then over time, you prioritize that as well.
Yes.
And you can carry a healthy meal with you. You have dabba services, but they are freshly cooked foods. And then somewhere it always also comes to
In
basic qualities of discipline, I feel. Then nothing in life, whether it's a corporate life, whether it's your personal life, I don't see them as separate because you're one human being. So whatever's happening in your corporate life will come into your personal life as well. So discipline is the key factor. That, okay, I have decided that I want to clean up my life, my food,
yes.
my exercise, and then now I'm going to practice discipline. Discipline is a skill that you acquire with practice. So these are choices at a personal level, which I
Indeed.
feel that extremely important. We are adults, we are grown-ups. And yes, when the adults in the house are
So,
sorted, children will also be guided in the right way in homes.
yes. Yes, and where there's a will, there is a way, as you pointed out, Brinda. Ultimately, it comes down to that. It's about making an informed choice and deciding to start clean up one step at a time. Dr. Manjari, I'll let you have the final word. Vrinda's already pointed out about how 2 out of 3 meals can at least be outsourced to Dabbawalas and try to ensure that we eat fresh. But in terms of snacks, as a nutritionist, can you suggest for our viewers some of the alternatives our viewers can go in for the next time they see a packet of chips around them and there's a craving to go just dig into that or to get in some instant noodles? What are healthy snacking options available?
There is a plethora of them. Just carry a whole fruit with you to start. Carry a small box of nuts and seeds. Take some, you like paneer, take some grilled paneer along. Mom made poha for breakfast.
Okay.
Carry some with yourself to the office. You can snack on it. If you do want to snack, there's a lot, as Vrinda was mentioning, that you can arrange also. I think most of the times the problem
Okay.
is really not that we don't have so much of a choice. The choice is there, but we're not able to really do it properly, or we're not able to use our mind to do it mindfully enough.
Okay.
The thing that works with human psyche is that if you know the impact of something, you're more likely to take the right steps to correct the things that you're doing wrong. So I think education about the impact is going to be a long thing in changing behaviors for people.
All
I
right. All right. Rinda and Dr. Manjari, thank you so much for joining us on this short chat here, but we appreciate your insight.